What's up, guys? Today we'll be going over the new Vanguard Pinnacle weapon in the season, the Wendigo GL3, which is a grenade launcher in the power slot. And we'll be going over how to get this weapon efficiently, then also we break down its damage and stuff like that, and overall how good it is in PvE. And spoiler alert, it's very good. So first, how do you get this weapon? Well, you gotta pick up a quest from Zavala, which is 1500 grenade launcher kills, 500 grenade launcher multi-kills, and also 15,000 points. And grenade launcher kills count as 4 points, then regular kills count as 2 points, then deaths also take away points. I'm not sure how many points it takes away, but just don't die. So pretty much you won't get the 15,000 points while getting grenade launcher kills, which means 3,750 GL kills in heroic strikes. As you see here, as I mouse over the setup I was using, mostly you want to use Fighting Lion because it has pretty much infinite ammo. Then also you could use a primary grenade launcher if you want, then also a power weapon grenade launcher, but it's not necessary. Fighting Lion is pretty much all you need. As mentioned before, you can only do this in heroic strike playlists. You can't do map versions, you can't do nightfalls or anything like that. It has to be in the playlist. So once you're into strikes, there's two ways of doing this. One, just play through the strike and get the kills while playing the strike, which is what I did, and it took roughly 6 hours straight of doing that to get the 3,750 grenade launcher kills for the points. And the grenade launcher kills and multi-kills pretty much did itself along the way for the points, so you don't have to worry about those ones. But there's another way to do it. You can also go into lost sectors right when you spawn in strikes. You can choose whichever lost sector you want depending on the planet, and just farm that lost sector over and over again, and that's definitely more efficient. And if you're with two random players, if they're doing it also, that's great. If they're going through the strike, eventually they might pull you or get to the boss and you'll get joining allies, but you can farm the lost sector up to that point. Or if you're with two friends, you can also just farm lost sectors as long as you want. Everyone pick their own lost sector and just do it over and over again. And if you do that, I estimate it'll take roughly 4, maybe 5 hours, so you'll definitely cut off some time, but it might be more boring. So let's start talking about the weapon now. It has smart drift control, blinding grenades, auto loading holster, then also its unique perk, explosive light. Picking up an orbital light increases the next grenade's blast radius and damage. Then it also comes fully masterwork with velocity. I also have a boss spec on my weapon. Then here is my shader also. So let's go ahead and begin looking at what this weapon actually does. So before you pick up an orbital light, it's just a regular grenade launcher. But once you get an orb, as you see here in a second, you will get the buff on the side of your screen, explosive light, and then once you have that, it will do more damage and have a bigger blast radius for that shot. Then once you pick up another orb, you get explosive light again. As you see, it stacks up to times 6, and when I pick up a new one, it doesn't go up to 7, so 6 is the cap, as they said in the TWAB. Now start looking at the damage of this weapon without the perk. I hit these two numbers right here, and once again, just to confirm, now with the perk explosive light, I now hit these numbers. As you see, the explosive number is a lot higher, but the impact is lower for whatever reason. And as you see here, it's a 70.4% increase with explosive light, which is a huge buff for a grenade launcher. Now go ahead and shoot off all 6 shots of the mag to see the rate of fire, and that took 2.566 seconds. Meaning the DPS of this weapon without the perk is 10,235, then with the perk it's 17,439, which is the highest in the game, barely beating Prospector. Right here is a clip of me testing the blast radius of this weapon with explosive light. It's kind of hard to actually do it scientifically, but you can just kind of see, based on how far away I shoot, where the damage drop off really begins. So hopefully that helps a bit. Now one thing that's very good about this weapon is even when you have your super fully charged up, you can still pick up grenades to get explosive light, which is good. That way you don't have to just, dispose your super just to get the perk up, which is good. But once you have times 6, you can still be picking up orbs and pretty much be wasting them. And that is the only flaw I see in an otherwise perfect weapon, and I'm pretty sure that is by design. And let me explain why. Let's say you had your super and picked up orbs to get to times 6 explosive light. Then once you got to explosive light times 6, if it didn't let you pick up orbs still, you could pretty much stockpile a big group of orbs on the ground by using tethers and whatnot, and pretty much shoot 17 plus shots of this weapon straight with the buff. So I'm pretty sure Bungie purposely made it so you continue to pick up orbs even after you have times 6. That way you couldn't stockpile and do some crazy DPS on raid bosses and whatnot, which I completely understand. So I doubt they will make a change to this mechanic, but at the same time I can see it being a little bit annoying in raids and whatnot. You're gonna feel panicked to use your super right away, that way you're not wasting orbs. For example, in the new raid we used 3 warlocks, and let's say I was overfilling my super and wasting orbs. When it got back to me to put down my well, I probably wouldn't have it by then because I've been wasting orbs with my super. So that's a minor thing that might be an issue in some scenarios in the game with this weapon, but it's definitely not huge and definitely not game breaking. This weapon is by far pretty much perfect. Definitely the best legendary power weapon in the game, and I'm so excited that we finally have a good non-exotic power weapon. There have been so many good builds in the game that have an asterisk next to them because the power weapon wasn't very good. For example, if you use Outbreak, like Loaded Question and a sword, or like a machine gun, Sure, the sword and machine gun were pretty good, but you were still sacrificing a lot not using an exotic power weapon. But now we finally have a legendary power weapon that isn't making a sacrifice. It is pretty much as good as exotics. It's maybe not as universally as good, which is how it should be. Exotics should still be better, but this is still very, very, very usable. For example, the build I'm using right now in this public event gameplay, Outbreak, Loaded Question, and the Wendigo, is super strong. I'm so excited to use that. Or even like a shotgun, the new Raid exotic SMG once I get it on my account, then the Wendigo, another great build. There's just so many good builds that this weapon will unlock that before weren't as good. There hasn't really been any good non-exotic power weapons since like cluster bombs back in year 1, and we finally have one, which is perfect. So is this weapon worth the grind? Yes, 100%. Now, if you need to split up the grind a bit and not burn yourself out, please do that, because I was not having the best of time getting 3,750 grenade launcher kills all in one day. It was not that fun, but it's definitely worth it. Just put up with it, get through it, and you'll definitely be happy that you did. Anyways, if you have this weapon, let me know what you think about it. I should have this Verse Strike bosses up on Saturday, I believe. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.